Look here, I have had my water disconnected a couple times in my life and it's not nice. It's not nice. If you have to go ask your neighbor for full up water, you have to bathe out a pan. It's not nice. So I want to help you, for those of you who struggle to read your water bill, I want to make this time to help you to go through it piece by piece to make sure you understand what the bill is saying and make sure you go pay your bill on time or before the time so them no come dig up your meter and cause the whole confusion and scandal and humiliation and all of them something that it not pretty at all. It's not pretty, it's not pretty. Listen, when JPS cut off your bill, it's a little more discreet, but when them in your yard that dig out your meter out of the ground, it's not nice. So listen now, I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna walk you piece by piece, step by step. Cause the whole we have to make sure so the water. Water is life. No joke about it. No joke about it. Anything else cut off, you can kinda work your way around it. You can go out the door and go get a cool breeze if you don't have no fan for use. You can cut off your light. You can light candle, but you see the water. Don't play with the water. So let me share my screen and we're gonna go through this bill. All right, piece by piece by piece by piece. All right, so I have my bill on my screen. I hope you can see my cursor. I really hope you can see my cursor because I don't want to be talking and you're not seeing what I'm saying to you. All right, so this little piece over here, I cut it from the top of the bill because the other section beside it had the person's personal information, which you don't need to know. All right, you really don't need to know that. It would be your information on your bill. And I cut off this little piece and itch it up right here so you can see this information here. So it gives the bill date 21st of April 2026. And that is the day that JPS generated this particular bill, right? Now, I know that the water bill can be very confusing for plenty people, especially when you go and see things like estimated reading and all of the PAM and K factor charge. So listen, I want to just break it down line by line for all of the granny them who still have to pay water bill and you can't figure out what is it saying. And all of the people them who might be a little challenged in terms of literacy, I got you. I'm here for you. All right, so let's go. That's the most important. This is the top section here that I cut off. This is the most important little piece because it tells you the date it was generated and it tells you how much, it tells you the date that you are to pay the bill by, the 12th of May 2026. This is the day that you don't want this day to pass. All right. Now, if you notice it's a rate, why my cursor misbehaving? So right here it says rate, residential. That just means it's a house, right? You live at a residence. The residential rate is for houses. If you were a business place, then it would say commercial, but you are residential. Then now, the status says active. That means your water is flowing, it has not been disconnected. If you ever get a bill and it says inactive, you're in trouble. You're in big trouble because that means your water cut off. The due date, that's the day you must pay the bill on that date or before that date. And make sure you pay all of the money because if you leave any balance on it, They might have a little threshold, but we don't know what the threshold is, so try pay all of it. And if you can pay it before the date, that's even better. Because we don't want nobody cut off your water. Alright? So keep that date in mind. Some people actually set up a system with their banks where the bill is automatically paid, and that's a very good idea. All right, so let's go now to the section where it give you your customer number, your premises number. You're gonna see this in the middle part of the bill. I have cut this off because you need to know the people them customer number and then premises number. This is your account number. If you have any queries, if you have anything you need to ask water commission, you have to have this number because they're going to ask you for it. Write it down somewhere else in case you misplace the bill. Have one little book where you write all of these important things in. You must have a number. If you have planned to go down there, go ask them anything, or if you're calling, or if you're going on their website, you will need to plug in the number. So you need, as a matter of fact, I know my number by heart. The amount of time me have to go down and go complain, I know my number by heart. Now, the first thing, okay, so yeah, I was gonna remind you of the due date, but I've already stressed that. Stress it. Now, the account summary. So let's go from the top of the account summary. It tells you your balance brought forward, right? So this is where they break down what has been happening for the last month up to now to what you owe now. The balance brought forward is if when you paid the last bill, if you never pay everything, or if you didn't pay the bill before the next reading was done, it might not reflect the payment. So it's gonna come off as balance brought forward. So let's say that the men came to read your meter the 5th. Your bill was due before that, you never have the funds. They came to read the meter again the 5th, and you went and paid your bill the 6th. The new bill is still going to reflect the old balance even though you paid, because the bill is generated depending on the date that the bill is generated. If you paid it afterwards, it's still going to reflect it. So you don't need to go down there go cost. If you know that you paid it, just keep your receipt handy and it should reflect on the other bill. The system will automatically deduct that even though the bill said is a balance brought forward. But if you didn't pay all of the money, you're still gonna have a little balance. So in this case, the balance brought forward was $7,196.85, and the person paid $7,000. That means they still had an extra little $197.35 that is overdue. I mean, it's a little bit of money. I mean, I think I'm gonna disconnect you for $100 and something, but still try and pay everything, right? No, so that's the amount overdue because you didn't pay every single cent from the last bill. The current charge is now $7,027.35. They're gonna add the overdue to that. And if you had paid it late, you're also gonna have a late fee added. I think it's $200. See here? Right, see it right here. So the late payment fee. So if you make the date pass, you pay late pay, you pay an extra $250 right here. So them have it. So what the National Water Commission On your bill, they break down everything, so you see where your money is going. Then tell you how much money you did for pay, then tell you how much you pay, then tell you how much your balance if you never pay all of it, then tell you the new charge for this month, then tell you the payment late payment fee if you make it a date pass. All of those things reflect on your new bill. All right. So the balance brought forward is how much you owe NWC. And if you sometimes you pay a little extra, so like you kind of round it off and you tell them, all right, just put all of that towards it. So if you pay a little extra, NWC actually owe you and they will deduct that, right? They will deduct that from the new bill. So sometimes them owe you, sometimes you owe them. Now, the overdue amount in this case is just $197. But let's say you left some hefty amount. That's a dangerous thing because then they can cut off your water. Okay? Any overdue amount you left, you're playing a dangerous game because you can see some man come with some bucket and shovel. I've been there. I've been there. You can see some men coming down your walkway with a bucket and shovel and trying to find your lot number, and they're going to be doing some digging. All right. So to avoid all of that embarrassment, pay the people them money on time. All right. Now the current charge. This is the cost for this month. This month where you use, that's the current charge. All right. And further down, I'm going to show you how they actually calculate that. Okay. Now, so let me see now. So we have something called miscellaneous charges. You know, miscellaneous mean any little other something. Miscellaneous, any little other something, right? So the late payment is considered in the miscellaneous charges. And there might be some adjustments that are made by any little discrepancy that occur, and they have to add something, take away something. You would see it under that. In this case, there are no adjustments. So yeah, so we're good to go for that. So now let's look at your total amount due. Or maybe we should, let me see. Right, so the total amount due, and they have some information about your meter, also your meter number. They have your deposit, in this case is deposit is 0. The billing cycle, in this case is 13. And the number of days that they're billing you for, in this case is what, 33. So this bill is from the 18th of March 2026 to the 20th of March 2026. So that's 33 days, right? So let me see. No, it's telling you your meter type. All right, so your meter type or the reading type here is estimated. I just want to make sure we go through step by step. I have some notes. I want to make sure you will go through every single piece because I don't want to overlook anything. All right, so 33 days you're being billed for, and you can go outside and look at your meter. Your meter is in your yard, right? You can lift up the top of the meter and you will see the number there. So you can actually check if the number on the bill corresponds or matches the number that is on your meter. Especially if you're there when the gentleman comes and reads the meter, you can check it so that when the bill comes, you can see and compare them, right? Now this bill is let me see if it's an estimate. Okay, so it's an estimated bill, and there can be a number of reasons why it is not an actual reading but an estimated reading. Sometimes when they come, if they can't get onto the premises, if you have a bad dog who barking and threatening them, if your gate is locked and they can't access the premises, or for whatever reason they were unable to come at a particular time. So they estimate the bill based on the bills that you have had in the past. Now, if more than 3 months pass and you're still getting estimated bills, this means that something is wrong. That's a red flag. You really need to check that out, right? Because if they're making a guess, and in case you were deliberately trying to reduce your consumption, you'll be ending up paying for the normal high consumption as opposed to your reduced consumption. So that is something you need to check and find out why isn't the bill an actual reading? Why are you getting so many estimated bills? So you look at your current reading, the previous reading, and they would do a subtraction to get the actual amount that you use. So in this case, the current reading is, let me see. Why does it say, oh, the current reading is 970, previous reading 956. So the current consumption will be the difference, which is 14, right? That's how they get how much water you have used. The current consumption, so 970 minus 956, 14. So the water commission is saying you have used 14 units of water, and 1 unit is 1,000 liters, right? So 14,000 liters you have used this month for the washing machine, in the kitchen, in the bathroom, watering your plants, bathing the dog, bathing yourself, anything where you use water to do. That's what the 14,000 liters of water. 1 liter of water is like, those roughly the water bottle, the water you buy, the bottled water, the regular one, that's roughly 1 liter. And so let's go back over to the left hand side and look at the consumption trend. So this is a bar graph, and it's from April 25 to April, it's 25? Oh, April 25 of last year to April 26 of this year. Now you notice on this particular bill for this household, the water usage has increased a lot. So maybe it was a different family living in the house, and this new family just bathe 3 times a day and wash every day and do whole heap of cooking and use the hose to water the plants and use the hose to wash the car, and them just love water, right? maybe the folks who lived in the house prior, they were very conservative, you know, they didn't splurge the water as much. So if you notice, the earlier months they were very low, very very low. This was up to what, 2, and this is in, I think this is probably in thousands of liters. I'm not sure. But as the time went along, you notice how it went up, up, up. The lowest month since that was November. Now, what was happening in November? Remember, we had Hurricane Melissa, and some people didn't have water for a little while. Maybe that was the case, so we had water go down. Usage went down in November, but back up again in December, Christmas time, and the whole heap of cooking and going out and whatever. And it has remained relatively high since that time. Right? So one thing that can account, another thing that can account for your reading being very high, on abnormally high, you might have a leak on the premises, and it might not be an obvious leak. It can be a toilet bowl leaking, dripping, or a water pipe that you don't even realize that there's a leak there, but over time it can really send up your water bill. So you have to check, and you can actually call the NWC. They will send someone to check. They have instruments that can check if you have an underground leak. Because sometimes the pipes that are run under the house burst and leaking. They have instruments that they can use to detect if there's a leakage under the house. It's gonna cost you some money, especially if any digging has to take place. But you have options. You can reroute the lines, the pipes, maybe on the outside or closer to the outside, to get rid of that leak, because you're going to be paying hefty water bills in perpetuity if you don't fix those leaks. Right? So we see a steep increase in the bars, so higher than normal usage, and then it became consistent. So if there's not a leak, it just means that the persons in that particular household, they use a lot of water, right? All right, so why is the water bill $7,027.35? So this is where a lot of people get lost, because they don't know, why am I paying all of this money? This is an unusually high water bill for residents, but like I said, everybody, different folks, different strokes. Now, let's look in the middle section here. Let's look in the middle section here. So you have the current charges and you have the sewage charges. So your current charges, this is the cost for your 14 units of water that you use, your 14,000 liters of water, and that's 2,000 something. And then you have the sewage charge. Now NWC charges to take the dirty water away. So when you wash things in the sink, and you're washing the washing machine and that let out that dirty water, anything you do in the kitchen and it go down the drain, and in the shower and it go down the drain, anything that goes down the drain, NWC actually charges you to take away that water. So you're not just paying for the fresh, clean, nice water that's coming in, you're paying for the dirty water that's going out. Okay? And there's usually more than, well, even if you have a soak away pit, which is uncommon in the city area, but once you have any incoming pipe, you're going to be charged for take away, the charge to get it out of the house. Now you see a little thing over here called a PAM, and that is what, 4.63%. The PAM means price adjustment mechanism. Now, when the light bill or the fuel or the US dollar goes up, NWC adds this, right? Just like the JPS, when the fuel goes up, they have to add their charge because these companies, their operation is dependent on fuel. They are machines, they need fuel to run. And fuel prices can fluctuate, the US dollar fluctuates, and this affects your bill. So these are adjustments that are made according to the rate, the current rate. You'll also see down here a little thing called the X factor, and it is 5%, not which reaches $308.21. The good news, it's a negative X factor here, so that means that NWC is taking off $308.21. The government is giving you a discount to help you out, right? Once you see the negative, is really in your favor in this case. You also see now a K factor, and the K factor is money for NWC to fix pipes and pumps, and it's 20% extra on the water and sewage. So it's like them give you with the right over here, give me with one and then take back with the next. It's kind of little something like that, right? The service charge, which is $1,216.53. Everybody pays this just to have the NWC service. So even if you fly out for the month, you're gone to Dubai, you're gone to Hawaii, you're gone to the Dominican Republic for 1 month to relax and enjoy yourself, use 1 drop of water in the house, you will still have to pay this money because this is the service charge that you pay for having the NWC meter in your house. Okay? So it's just like if you fly out, you still have to pay the rent. You can't tell your landlord that I was not there at the house using the house. Me did there Dubai. Me did there Hawaii. Me never did there use the house. Why should I pay for this month? No. You rent the house, you have to pay rent for every month, whether you're there or not. So it's the same thing. You have the water meter, you have the pipes connected to the meter. Water is flowing through the house. Whether you use it or not, you have to pay that service charge. Don't go down there with your miserable self and try to cuss the people and tell them you don't need to pay it because you weren't there, because the security going to escort you to the door. So when you add up all of those things, that's how you get your current charges. Okay, so I hope everything has been very clear so far. There is a little notice at the side. Maybe I'll read it a little later on. It's just a little note that NWC is issuing to the customers. So the takeaway from this analysis of the bill, so remember your meter type. If it's estimated, you need to go and check. Well, if you see like 1 month estimated, that's not too bad. 2 months, all right, but 3 or more months estimated, you need to go and check and find out why isn't it an actual reading. Check your overdue amount. If it's not zero, pay it as soon as you can, because any overdue amount can result in your water being disconnected You're gonna see the man them a come down with the bucket and the shovel and they're gonna dig. Now, understand 1 unit is 1,000 liters, right? So if you use 14 units for the month, that's 14,000 liters. But liters is a little bottle of water. The regular little water bottle where you buy for $100 for water, that one. So that's about 70 drums of water. 70 drums of water. If you live alone, that's too much. You need to check if you have a leak. And if you have some lazy pitney who love to do them every minute, them go turn on the pipe. Every minute, then them have one underpants and then put in a washing machine. Tell them no, no, no. No, they can't. Every little thing them go wash, big washing for 1-2 little items that cannot work. Okay? Daddy love to have him nice, clean, pretty car, but tell daddy do not use the hose to wash the car. Mommy love to go water her flowers every morning and every night. Tell her to use a little watering pitcher and not the hose. Okay? It's going to cost. Remember, you don't just pay for the clean water coming in, you're paying for the dirty water that's taken out of the house. So yes, you have a sewage charge that you have to pay for. It's not abnormal, everybody has to pay for it. If you are in doubt of anything at all, call the National Water Commission. They have a toll-free line, 888-225-5692. Let me make sure I get it right. Or call NWC. That's the name. Call NWC. So anything you want to dispute, anything you still don't understand, call them, go on their website, or visit your NWC office that's nearest to you. Now, what are some ways that you can lower your bill? Check if you have leaks and fix them immediately. Any little drip coming from the pipe, don't take it lightly. Every little drip adds up to hundreds of liters within the month. You can put a bottle in the toilet tank, like a full of bottle, and put it in there, and it will help it to use less water to flush, right? Turn off all taps. When you're brushing your teeth, turn off the tap until you're ready to wash out your mouth and the toothbrush. When you're showering, turn off the tap while you're soaping up and doing your fancy stuff. Turn off the tap until you're ready to rinse, right? And the most important numbers are your due date and the total amount due. Make sure you pay it by that date. Now let me see if I can read. There's a little note here. It says, "Dear valued customer, in keeping with the 2019 interim tariff determination notice granted by the OUR effective May 2025, the base rates of the components used in the calculation of the PAM have been reset." Oh, they're talking about the rates of the PAM and all of that. Yeah. So this company is demonstrating that it cares about its customers and it wants you to know exactly what is what. They break down everything. So we have to give them that much. Kudos to NWC for breaking down every bit of information so we know what we are paying for, and they give their contacts, their phone number, everything if you have any queries, which is commendable, right? So yeah, that's the NWC bill. Now I've done the same thing for the JPS light bill, the Flow telephone bill, and I'm gonna do a couple other bills. So you can check the channel for those ones if you have trouble reading your JPS bill, if you have trouble reading your flow bill, and if there's any other thing you want me to break down that you're having trouble understanding, just drop a note in the comment and I'll definitely do that for you.